leaks and everything else with the download. I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. We are going to have a lot of fun today. I need to bring chat up on screen. My bad. Hold on. There we go. Chat's up on screen. We're going to have an awesome day today. Hope you guys enjoy the episode. I'm going to fly through it a little bit because I don't like dragging out things too much, generally speaking. But there's going to be some really interesting topics we need to talk about. Actually, I forgot to grab one thing, which is the whole title of the video, because I did want to talk about that. And I can show you guys how to do the calculations yourself, too. It's actually quite interesting. We're not going to go crazy on it, but we are going to look at it. Alrighty, I just realized that this has to be on the screen so that it's square. Perfect. Alrighty. Oof. How you guys going? 2 minutes late. I'm sorry, Crystal. I'm sorry to do that to you. But let's jump into it. Let's get on to the first thing. I'll leave rev deals till the very end. I hate to do that to you, but no, I don't really. I think it's pretty funny. All right, let's take a look at this one first. Some of the leaks that the Illuvium Twitter in particular has been popping out this week has been absolutely awesome. I'm not going to lie. So I've got quite a few of them in here. I've got quite a few leaks in general. There's so many announcements, and there's actually a lot of really important governance talk that we need to do as well. And then there's the discussion surrounding, how do I put this? Surrounding the safety pool, and it's nearing its completion, as Danny put out a burn report this month as well. So there's a lot of really awesome stuff. It won't take us long to get to the RevDiz stuff. Don't worry, Crystal. Do not worry at all. It's going to be really good stuff. So first, let's take a look at the stake. You guys should be able to hear the sound, I hope. Let me know if you can't. I love it. I'm going to assume Rich added the sound after the fact, but I still really like it. If that's the actual soundtrack of Tiger, that'd be pretty cool. I do like the Aurora Boreal, or whatever you call it. I guess it's Tiger Boreal, so that would make sense. But I'm really loving all the effects and everything. The grand scale of all the ice and all that. The snowboarding is fun, but it's not actually my favorite part of this leak. It's just more that, I don't know, he's traversing the landscape, and it just makes sense. It just looks good. I definitely can't wait to explore this region, and there's a slight chance this is going to come out with open beta. A very small chance, but I think I'd rather have it polished before it comes out anyway. So probably not going to come out with open beta. Okay, so I stuffed that up. Brave tab. Let's do it. Here's the next one for you. This one's actually one of my favorite leaks. I know Andrew captured this one. He was really happy with it. Let's take a look. I love how the pose changes on this next one. It's really, really sick. Let me know what you guys think of this one in the chat right now. Don't forget to like the video so that more people can experience the glory that is Illuvium. I really appreciate it. If we get up to 20 likes, I think that would be really awesome. Oh, the daggers look fun. I like how we're standing up in that pose. It's a very martial arts pose. Maybe Grant set that up. It's quite funny. All right. So the next one we'll jump into is the axolotl line spawning in. I didn't really think that much of these spawning animations, but they're actually really growing on me really fast, and I'm really enjoying them. I think the only thing I dislike about them is they feel really low res. That might just be because it's on Twitter. But the other thing is the purple background just doesn't, I don't know, it doesn't make them shine. Like that thing on like, in the Sanctum Mesa environment, if they could fake up a little Sanctum Mesa diorama type thing to put them in, I think it would just look so much better having Axodon in that space rather than on some weird purple studio, some custom studio. I just don't think it makes as much sense. I know, right, Zim, people are definitely sleeping on this still, but we're going to keep going. We're going to keep pushing through. This one was really funny. I don't know how many of you guys put, I hope it's a placeholder background. I agree with you, Crystal. I don't know how many of you guys saw this or got caught up in this whole thing. I never thought it was a multiplayer leak, but at the same time, I kind of hoped it was. But basically, for anyone who's not across this situation, there was this leak that Andrew posted, and he said, did you notice anything? And the obelisk like shoots up its thing right at the end or at some point. And everyone just assumed that other players were actually coming into the Sanctum Ace environment while you were playing that PvP battle. Now, that doesn't make any sense for a variety of reasons. But in other aspects of multiplayer, things like the overworld and stuff, I can expect that being the way multiplayer works, which would actually be super cool. There's thousands of players. You can't really have the obelisk going off permanently. But I think that would be really cool. But yeah, this was just the obelisk is on a timer and things like that. People got it rolled up. I thought it was quite funny. I don't know if everyone agreed. But yeah, I do love how the community just takes something and then runs with it. It's always so much fun. Snow environment and games, I absolutely agree with you, Koyekiska. Totodile, Crocodile for alligator. Oh, for real. I actually really love Totodile. I always chose the water starter in Pokemon, so Totodile has a special place in my heart. I'm getting messages. All right. So here we have some leaks Grant put in the Discord. I have no idea if I covered them last week. There might be a little bit of that. I might have covered it last week type stuff. But I actually really like these leaks. You can see some really close-up shots of things in PvP. Some of this stuff really doesn't do it justice. I can't help but notice that this thing is part hollow. I only just realized that just then. Very cool. I really like this one where you can see Arlen is running and Hetty is doing his thing. You can see all the reflections in their eyes and things like that from all the particle effects. Very cool. This one's really sick. You've got what looks like a flish is going off. You've got a lot of earth alluvials up the front. I love these sorts of angles in the game. Dynamic camera movement is one of the best things that Illuvium has incorporated into their suite of games. Generally speaking, especially for PvP. Again, guys, don't forget to like down below. Subscribe if you don't want to miss any future news. You guys know the tokens pumping. All the tokens are pumping. We're not stopping here. If you want to learn more and actually get some research done, my channel is one of the places you can do that. And there's a few other channels I mentioned today as well, so that'll be fun. Another close-up shot. I'm really loving it. This one's really cool. It kind of looks like the Rangers are on the same team. Obviously, they're not. They're actually attacking each other. But you've seen in some of the Illuvium leaks on Twitter and stuff like that, you can see how many different animations the Rangers actually have with the different weapons, and they're doing some really interesting stuff. I think it's really cool, to be honest. And we're back to the start. So we'll move on to the next one here. No point like harping on this stuff too much. This one's great. We've got a lot of really interesting leaks. Nick says a lot of great stuff in the Discord, and I really like bringing you guys those leaks because I know a lot of people miss that sort of stuff where we're getting genuine updates about the game's progress all the time, and just so many people are missing it and not seeing it because they're in the Discord and Nick is just saying stuff here and there. But I'm loving bringing that stuff to the rest of you. How's it going, Surf? So Nick says that they have a working point of proof of concept. Sorry, I had to actually Google this. I wasn't sure what it was. Which the guys are performance testing prior to switching focus and knocking out the Sepolia migration. Anyone doesn't know, IMX switched from Gaoli to Sepolia, which is like a test net. And they're back to the fuel exchange. So they've got a proof of concept of the fuel exchange. Basically, when you go to your land and you sell fuel onto the order book, and someone from the overworld buys it so they can travel or whatever else, that entire blockchain system, they've got a proof of concept currently functioning to some degree. I think it's minor, but it exists in some way. They're working on an improved one with a review feedback round with architecture. The AMM, which I think is the automatic market maker, which is basically like a DEX. The fuel exchange is going to be basically a DEX in some way. The challenge is actually achieving high throughput rate. Transactions per second. I totally said transactions per second. Don't pretend like I didn't. And then if they run into too many issues, they can go with a back-end solution, which I would say is quite straightforward. I know a lot of people in the crypto space will probably frown on that. I don't really see a huge issue as long as all the really important stuff is transparent on chain. Ideally, the whole thing's on chain. I definitely would prefer that. But they're having trouble with this speed because IMX, at least IMX, batches all its transactions. And what that means is how it works is Ethereum is like, I'm going to send you one Ethereum token and it's going to cost me $2 in gas. What IMX does, or at least my understanding, and I need to do more research again, I need to remember all this stuff. What IMX does is says, oh, we're going to, instead of you just sending one ETH to the other person, we're going to wait for 100 people to send one ETH. Then we're going to grab them all together and send them all in one go. And the gas fee is going to be split amongst you all. And you just, since you're doing it all in bulk, you're all getting super cheap gas and all the rest of it. And then IMX actually pays the gas for you. They just subsidize it with all their other ways they're making money. And that's how you get a gas-free network. And so what happens is that since everything needs to be batched, it's hard to get high transactions per second, unlike with something like Solana and stuff where you're paying the gas fees and everything. But I think they work on solutions, and I'm sure there are ways to do it. I'm not that technical. I don't know this stuff well enough to take a stab at it, but that's what it seems like to me. Alrighty. So the next one we've got here is Nick saying that there's a constant stream of news events plans and that the esports partnership alone lasts 6 months with numerous activations events planned. I don't know exactly what this means. There's the promo disc, which is a couple days in there somewhere. You've probably got some sort of big launch tournament, hopefully, or launch streams and things like that. Then you've got a bunch of streams and things for PvP, I would assume. I'm not sure exactly what would be in the middle, but I'd have to say there's another tournament, maybe a tournament for PvP, or other competitions, events, and giveaways over the course of this time. Sorry about that. Oh. All right, so the next one here is more alpha from Nick. He's always given us the goods. This stuff is quite interesting, right? So someone's talking about how the resource investment into, let's speculate, feels like TSM. It could be Zim. I don't know. I don't know esports that well to be able to tell you, to be honest. So he's talking about how the resource investment into Illuvium Beyond compared to Illuvium Zero. Land obviously has a lot more people investing in it, a lot more popular too in terms of secondary market sales and all the rest of it, even though there's a lot less to do with it right now. And how the resources have been handled between them, because we see a lot of updates and other things for Illuvium Beyond all the time. But we do not see many dev updates, at least in the public eye, for Land. And I think some people are concerned about that. But basically, they've added 2 new hires for Illuvium Zero. So they are growing the Illuvium Zero team, which I love. I love the Illuvium Zero game, and I think it's going to be really awesome in the future. And it's already awesome now. I might play it later. And what does he mean by a Beyond redesign? So some of the interesting stuff here is that they are going to be working on some sort of upgrades and things for Beyond over time, especially over the next few months. But what he makes it really clear is that we don't have plans to lean heavily on the back-end team. That's a priority for things like blockchain, PvP, Illuvium Zero. But there's a reasonably large amount we can do for Beyond via front-end only changes, which are very low overhead. It's a handful of artists and other people every now and then working on front-end changes and stuff like that. So I really don't think, and they're very aware of it, I really don't think Beyond is going to impact the other parts of Illuvium in the future. I just realized I've been using the wrong mic this whole time. Oh. All right, let me just fix that really quickly. All right. I'm always forgetting to put the right mic in after I got my new attachment and all that. There we go. Okay. I don't know how to connect the right mic now. It's really not letting me. Yeah, the pink is solid, isn't it? I don't know why it's not letting me connect my mic. Just 1 second, guys. Nope, it hates it. It might be trying to force me to restart the stream or something, but I am not going to do that. It looks like it's actually using my camera mic, which I've never ever used before. So let me know what you guys think about the camera mic. I have no idea how good it is, if you guys can hear me clearly or anything, but we're going to have to move on. I don't have the time to try and fix that, if it would even let me. But let's jump on to the next one. It sounds like you guys can hear me. I'm going to assume. It's definitely got some sort of... All right, so the next one we got here is team has shared overworld pricing and economy-related data with SSC and IMC. So they are working on the pricing. I have not seen any of these details, so don't ask me what's going on. THD probably doesn't even know what they're talking about with this sort of stuff. It's very with just certain teams on labs and the council. And it was worked on and presented by game design and game economists. Honestly, I trust the game economists. People might hate high prices and stuff like that, but I don't know. I'm willing to give it a chance, and then if we have to reduce it, we have to reduce it. But it's all good. He's also saying that the fuel exchange is well underway, as we just established. And the overworld backend changes and blockchain integration have been underway for some time. So they have been working on the blockchain integration this entire time. And it's going to take a while to get the smart contracts done. You've got to audit them and make sure they're perfect and everything. But they are working on it. They yeah, they're doing really well. Let's just put it that way. Losing my voice a bit. I don't have any water. I have a little bit of water. All right, the next one we got here is that Johnny's been quiet a bit, but here's a few really good updates from Johnny this week. So backend integration with the new client is now flying along, focusing on a very strong foundation for the new build is starting to pay off. What this means is with Epic, you can update the game instead of having to re-download the build all the time, and having that strong foundation is really helping with their future dev work, which I'm very excited about. They've shared several new reward ideas, I would say similar to Illuvium Beyond rewards, with the founders, and hopefully they agree to take some to the council. I hope there's some sort of incentives program for PvP, but we'll see how we go. Work continues on the fuel pool, as we just saw, and Blueprint minting is still expected this year. He sounds pretty confident. I don't know. I think they're going to release it as soon as they're ready, but they'll still have to get it audited and everything, so I wouldn't expect it November. It might be late December. It might be right at the end of the year, but there's no way to tell, really. But they can turn vague notes into concrete documents. All good. We'd love to see it. We love to see it. All right. So this is a topic I actually wanted to spend a little bit of time on. All right. So let's really think about this for a second. Illuvium announced, or at least one of the members of Illuvium announced, that the Illuvium team just got joined by Antonio. And that's their username there. Go follow them if you get the chance. Antonio Valentini. Okay. So, sorry, I'm Italian, so I really like Italian names. He has joined us to focus on the back end of Illuvium Zero. Brings his 13 years of C# development experience to the team, along with developing multi-platform games in Unity. Welcome, Antonio. Okay. Now, why is this important? Many might know, and many more might not know, that Illuvium for quite some time actually struggled a little bit with back-end engineers. They had a lot of artists, they had a lot of everyone else you might need, marketing people or professional, really talented marketing people, and all the rest of it, artists, some good back-end, some good blockchain devs, and all the rest of it. They had a lot of really great team, but they were always a bit understaffed in terms of back-end. Now, there's been an element of two things that have happened, especially in the past 6 months that I've noticed, just speaking with the team and all the rest of it. And it's one, that they've matured as a studio quite a bit. So the back-end developers that they did have are now really proficient, really aware with the overall Illuvium systems and working very well. And they've hired a lot more back-end engineers as well. So this area that was one of the weaknesses of Illuvium is now starting to become a real strength. And it's going to help it moving forward. It's going to help with future games. And more importantly, it's going to make sure that things are delayed less. I feel like all the past delays, some of it was probably kind of due to back end and stuff. At least in the public eye, it's really obvious to us that the art is at certain points. And so it's hard to say whether the art was unfinished or not. But it's that sort of thing. And what I really wanted to focus on there is that Illuvium is an infant company. It's a first studio of its kind. It's never built a game before. It's a startup, right? But now they're starting to look more like a startup that's almost released their first product. And in some ways, they've released several products with Illuvium Beyond and other betas and things like that. So it's very exciting to see that they're almost there. And I can't wait. I can't wait to see how this benefits Illuvium in the future. So I just wanted to point that out. So the next thing we've got here is Danny has posted the burn report. So the October 2023 burn report, transparency and everything like that. Disclaimer is disclosed to share high-level information about how the DAO treasury spent. That's all boring stuff. We're going to jump straight into the actual burn report. I'm going to get super blown out here because the screen's so white, but it looks like really good. So July was 1.28 mil, August 1.2, and September 1.4, and the 4-month average is about almost 1.3, which is actually very much in line with what their estimated monthly average was for costs that they established like 6-7 months ago, like ages ago. This is kind of what they were aiming for, and they've done really well with it. You can see that. We've got the treasury wallet, the safety pool / capital raise, the other safety pool wallet, which I think is like IMX tokens and secondary market sales and all the rest of it. I can't remember. I always forget. The ILV rewards, like I could Google it and figure it out, but I always forget, and multiple banks. So what we have here is this bit here, which I'm sure many of you want to see. The safety pool has a value of $4,735,668 as of 10th November 2023. I saw Layla Hold make a post as well. I think it's actually closer to 4.8 million now. And we're going to talk about more about that a little bit later. But we're practically $200,000 away from the safety pool being full, and then RevDiz beginning. Don't forget that RevDiz is only distributed once it hits 500 ETH in the little holding box. I think it's 500 ETH, which is $1 million. I want to say $1 million. So we would still need to get $1 million passed before anything is distributed. But the RevDiz wheel will start surprisingly soon. I'm going to talk about why that is very shortly, and why I think we can hit that $1 million threshold a lot faster than you might think. And we're gonna talk about that at the end. But I just wanted to say that this is really good news, and I think Battle and the Beyond had a much bigger impact than I actually expected. And I'm loving to see it. I'm just loving to see it. The rest of the report and everything looks really sweet. Marketing was actually really high this month. I don't think it's normally this high. So you can see they spent a lot on streamers, influencers, and all the rest of it for PvP launch. So that's really exciting too. Legal 20K, which seems like on the low side. So I'm glad to see that's quite low. And in-game rewards is there, but that doesn't actually come out of runway. So that's interesting. The way he structures it's a little weird to me, but Danny knows better than me, so I'm just going to go with it. The next one we've got here is the Illuvium Team Builder Showdown event. This is actually really cool. I really didn't expect them to drop this. But basically, Rangers build your teams and watch as 16 core contributors battle it out with your teams. Participation is welcome to all. Build your teams, join the fun, and they will stream on Wednesday, 7 p.m. Sydney time. So, submissions start right now, and it ends in a few days, in like 4 days or whatever. You just submit your team via the Google form. We're going to take a look at this Google form right now. Basically, you put in Discord username, team name, make this funny because it is being scored on a few things. We'll talk about that in a second. Click the share button to copy the link to your clipboard. 255 character description of how you intend for your team to be played. This is very important. I'll explain that again in a second. And IMX wallet address, because the winners will actually receive a mega disc, I believe. So the scoring system is creativity 2 points. The title will be included. If you guys have really fun puns for your team title, let me know. I love all fun Pokemon Illuvium puns, TFT, whatever. Just make fun puns. I love it. And strategy 3 points. So the description's going to come really in handy there, where you want to convince them that this team's going to win. You want to convince them that they're playing it wrong if they lose. So putting your strategy in there is very, very important. Selection phase will be the day after submissions close. And then the day after that, yeah, it kicks off. So there's a 3-day period there. It's going to be really fun and exciting. I really want to know who's going to be participating. It's 16 core contributors. Maybe TSG will be playing. I have no idea. If anyone wants to ping him and ask, then that would be awesome too. Hopefully TSG is playing. I think that'll be fun. And yeah, no, I'm actually really excited for that. Oh, there's also ILV prizes. So that's why you're putting your IMX wallet in there. I think that was edited. I swear to God. Oh, selected team owners win disc, and then the winners of the battle win the ILV. Sorry. So everyone gets a disc, and the winners get ILV. 5 ILV, for anyone who doesn't not sure, is like almost 500 USD, like 400 USD. So very solid prize, if I must say so. Also, I just quickly want to tell you guys, don't forget to register for Illuvium Inferno. I'm going to bring up the link right now. If you haven't registered already, there are so many different people playing. Let me find it. Let me find it. There are currently 155 people registered. Okay, you do not want to miss out on this. It caps out at 256. This tournament will fill out very, very fast. I don't know what that DA is. Let's get rid of that and see if it works. Oh, he just put it anyways. All right. Do not forget to register for the Illuvium Inferno. You can register right here. It is going to be an awesome, awesome tournament. All right. So that's my plug right there. You guys are going to love it. I'm going to make more tweets later. This is something I missed this announcement when he made it. I don't know how, but this is something I didn't expect to see. So apparently in 2022, we suffered a minor data breach. Many of you probably already knew that, but for some reason I'd forgotten. Due to problems with one of our marketing campaign tools. The vendor wasn't helpful, and basically some emails were breached, essentially, where some people got access to the email itself, but nothing really else. And apparently it didn't meet the reporting thresholds for Australia, and we're a DAO. We're in the Dubai jurisdiction now, so it probably doesn't reach any reporting thresholds for that. But for public disclosure, he's just making sure to let us know, because it might be relevant every now and then. It might be relevant now because some people maybe got an email with like a phishing scam. So always be careful. There is no Illuvium airdrops or anything like that. No Illuvium airdrops. Just remember that, please. Okay. The next one here is the team builder came out. It came out just after last week's stream, I believe. Or the day after, I'm not sure. It came out recently, so we probably covered it a little bit in the last week's stream. You can go right here and use the team builder. It's really easy. It's really fun to do. We're going to cover some content that will help you with that in just a moment. I really like this thread from Kieran, okay? So Kieran said playing this latest beta has reminded him how crazy the next year will be. Revenue distribution, hitting monthly targets for things, buying back stupid amounts of the token. I'm sure that will get many of you guys excited. Something never before seen in GameFi, which I think is quite interesting. It's a bit of a experiment. No one really knows what's going to happen. Illuvium Zero, watching people generate fuel. Arena, bringing across lots of TFT lovers with an awesome rewards pool. When you play TFT, you play TFT. When you play Illuvium, maybe you have a chance to earn some tokens, which you can pretty easily convert to real money and real currency in many, many places in the world, just for playing and being good at the game. And I think that's going to bring over enough people as it is. Overworld, showcasing a creature capturer with real ownership of assets. These 3 games are about to be a reality. It is such an awesome thread. People really liked it. He's got 23,000 impressions on it now. I might have to copy it. But yes, awesome stuff. So the next one we've got here is, I'm not going to go through this video. I'm not going to spoil the video for you. But Artemis actually whipped up a really awesome video That is Illuvium PvP 101, the Ultimate Beginner's Guide. This is a really great guide. I did watch it all the way through to the end. I really enjoyed it. And it gives you some great tips on PvP, especially if you're completely new to Illuvium. Even if you aren't, it's got some other really great insights in there.
Classes can either have a primary affinity or a composite affinity. Whether Illuvial is a primary or composite, again, they only benefit from one bonus. Now, while the classes are what define the role of an Illuvial within your team, the affinities will define.
Her voice is so soothing. I don't know if anyone else has really noticed that. Like, you could just like really zone out and enjoy it. But no, it's such a great video. You will learn so much. I hope you guys go and check it out. The other video I've got for you today is actually from Illumination, titled "This is Essential for PvP," and basically he describes how to use the deck, the team builder. But he's also got some really awesome info regarding things like the different symbols and the icons and what the different terminology means. So if you're new to Team Builder, if you're feeling a bit daunted, this is a great video to help you get started.
But yeah, if you want to go more into those things, I have a video for you in the description down below. And then we can save the team and we can import it into the game. All right, let's have a look at the actual Team Builder right now. All you have to do is click play. It says register for Illuvium Beta right here, but as soon as I click, I will be automatically logged in. So you have to log in and then you go.
So yeah, you guys get a feel for it. He covers everything, all the basics, start through to end, does a really good job, and some more advanced concepts as well, much like Artemis. So some really awesome stuff. So now I'm going to get onto the governance topic. There's four this week, although they're all relatively simple, so I'm not going to spend much time on each. But firstly, adjustment to the committee structure. It was with a maximum of 3 advisors, but it's going to hopefully be changed to 5 advisors. For some reason, I always thought it was 5 advisors, so that feels quite weird to me. And the only other thing was that it's going to improve the replacement mechanics and things like that. So if a committee member isn't up to scratch, it's going to be a lot easier to deal with that situation than it would have been beforehand, or at least a lot faster. So very, very good stuff, really helpful for the DAO. The next one here is the proposal to streamline the vote of no confidence. This isn't a huge change to how vote of no confidence works. Basically, the community can still vote of no confidence for people and stuff like that. It's just way more structured. You need to like actually give a reason why you want to give a vote of no confidence for someone. It goes through an entire process. There's a lot of different people getting involved and just making sure that the process is as streamlined and as effective as possible, and that the community gets the information they need as well to make a proper decision. So there's quite a bit in here. I'm not going to go through it all. I think this graphic sums it up really well. Someone submits a Vonk complaint to the GCM. Currently, it's Rich, but it might be someone else. And then after 5, they share the complaint with the accused. So if someone was bringing a Vonk against me, Rich would talk to me and be like, someone's brought this complaint. We're going to have to go through this process. You have 5 days to pretty much to draft a defense, to draft my counter argument, and we can propose that. Basically, everyone receives their stuff, and then we post it in governance ideas. Community discusses for 14 days. It's closed, and then if the upvotes are received, there's a vote for the other council members to say, look, we don't think you're working out of the council. Goodbye. Goodbye for now, at least. All right, so the next one we've got here is the Illuvium Game Development Selection. Now, this doc is definitely worth a read, but it is quite lengthy, it's quite big, and I will summarize it for you. Actually, you know what? Caveman did a really good job of summarizing it for me. First, pre-planning genre research documentation sets the guidelines for labs to prepare an extensive market research report to provide the IMC. So what this overall proposal is about is creating a really defined structure that labs has to follow when they want to make a new game. If they want to make a kart racer next, they're basically going to go through all these steps and be like, and prove to the IMC that that is the right choice to make. If the IMC disagrees, then the IMC disagrees. Genre analysis, so they're going to do pre-planning game research, so it's like a market segment analysis. Genre analysis, which is a little bit deeper, but it's also about like, what sort of resources do we have that we could already include into this genre that would make it easy for us to produce, and all that sort of stuff as well. And then the game pitch process, which is a bit more specific to the game itself. Once the IIP, the IMC would have the authority to request pre-planning, genre research, and genre analysis when they feel it is time to start considering the next game. So the IMC would be like, okay, we're ready for new games. We think it's time. Give us what you got. Or the labs will come at some random point. I don't think that's super set in stone. I think there's something about like a limit of how many times this can happen a year to make sure it's proper or something, but I can't remember, to be honest, so I'm not going to talk much more on that. This I found in governance ideas I thought was really cool. I'm going to try and get at least one major community idea every single week. But basically, Linky says that he's been following the buzz around the Illuvium Inferno 1 tournament. I just realized how biased this is. I liked this before I knew what it was about. And I must say, it's truly exciting to witness the energy and passion we're all bringing to the table. And he brings an idea that the winning team stands in the middle of the battle board, surrounded by the arena. So he wants to make like really cool graphics for the victors of different competitions. Maybe this is guild-based and there's 5-man teams or whatever it might be. But basically some really interesting graphics to show off. You can show off before and after the competition it's just a big marketing push for these sorts of events. I think it's really great stuff. So definitely go and chuck that a like. I will copy this link and drop it in the chat. And yes, Pog is in the chat, of course. Don't forget to like the video down below. I really appreciate it, guys. Alrighty, and here we go. So I wanted to really dig deeper into what is really happening in regards to Illuvium Beyond sales and RevDiz, okay? And what I did was very, very simple. I grabbed a bunch of the API stuff from Immutable X, and I told it to build me a Python script. That Python script pulls all of the transaction data for the past, this is 30 days, but I changed it to 90 days. I kept the 30 days. And basically I told it, grab me all of the disk mint sales for Illuvatars. And basically it did that. It gave me Python script. We took it, we went through a few variations. We eventually got it to work. And then it built me a CSV, which is kind of like an Excel file of all the transactions for disk mints in Illuvium. After that, we finalized it a bit and got a really sweet CSV. And then what I did was I gave it back to ChatGPT. We had a few weird issues. For some reason, it didn't grab timestamps for me, which was really silly. But basically, I gave it back to ChatGPT. We fixed it up. And then what happened was I got it to visualize the data for me. And I got it to say, look, here's the data we all just got. Visualize it for me. How many disks are being minted every 12 hours? I wanted to break it up a little bit more than daily. I should have just stuck with daily. Every 12 hours. And as we kept going, we got a little bit better data. The dates are still super messed up. But basically, what I'm going to say here is, can I do this? One sec, this might work. Perfect. All right. And what we did was we went through it, okay? And here, this spike right here, I don't know why it messed up some of this stuff so bad, but I'm pretty sure it was this spike here is the day of Battle in the Beyond. It's like these 3 or 4 candles here is Battle in the Beyond. And you can see about 1,000 discs were minted on that day alone. But the pressures kept up. This is the time before Battle in the Beyond, when you've got 200-300 discs being minted every single day. Then you get up here, you get this huge spike, and you see how many discs are being minted in Battle in the Beyond. And then the pressure's been keeping up really, really well. There's quite a few. It's about 500, on average, about 500 discs every single day being minted. I don't know the details on Mega or Standard. I think 90% of them are probably Standard. By that logic, that means that it's about $2,500. Yeah, $2,500 every single day since then. Or more, because this is 12-hour chart. So about $5,000 every single day is actually going to the DAO, not to mention secondary market sales. So $5,000 is actually quite a bit of money in the grand scheme of things. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump back to ChatGPT and say, if, assuming these prices, $5 per transaction, I will then ask it, if we have 200k left to reach our goal from this moment, considering the average of the past 15 to 20 days or so, how long until we reach that goal? I'm going to ask that to ChatGPT and see what it spits out. It's probably going to do a little bit of analysis, so this might take a little while. But while it's analyzing, we'll just talk about one more thing quickly. Is even if we don't get there from Illuvium Beyond sales on their own, we're going to have this next partner disc sale. And these are Ethereum only sales. We've probably cut a really good deal with whoever the partner is. It's an esports team, so that it's going to be quite a big partnership. And the overall experience is going to be way, way better. It's going to have lots of things that a mega disc would normally have. Your partner disc promo thing. The game will hopefully be out, so there'll be way more people in the Illuvium and Illuvium Beyond ecosystem trying to get these discs. So I think this next partnership sale could actually be really massive. We're talking like, I definitely think it could generate upwards of $500,000 for Illuvium in that partnership sale. Now, I don't know when it's going to happen. Maybe around December sometime. I have no idea. Maybe it could come out right after PvP. I'm really not sure. When that does happen, we're talking 500k. I'm expecting Illuvium Beyond to actually have filled up the safety pool before then. And then if this partner sale can hit the $1 million mark, we could be looking at RevDiz getting distributed pretty much days after that, or shortly after that. I don't want to say days. That's probably bad. And had error analyzing. So it had a really big trouble trying to calculate the 15 to 20 days average. But if I had to estimate it myself, I'm saying $5,000 a day. So 10 days would be 50k. So you're looking about 40 days. So you're looking by the end of the year, we're probably going to have RevDiz sorted. So it's really, really interesting. Very excited. So this is a really good point, Sneaky Poke. I saw in the Discord today, they were talking about that this is going to be in the beta. Apparently, Kieran said it on Twitter. It could be more fun if we actually look for that. I think that could be really cool. So I don't know why I had all those errors, but we're going to search up Kieran's tweet and bring that up as the last thing we talk about. Yeah, I really do think RevDiz, not necessarily this year, but I think it's going to kick off before open beta even comes out, which is going to be an exciting thing. And it's going to encourage a lot more people to get involved with Illuvium as well, which is awesome. Okay. I can't find the official statement he made. I did see someone screenshot it, so I think it is real, but I cannot find it. But I'm pretty sure Kieran has said that Illuvitars are going to make it into the beta. Maybe not day one, but maybe like a week after or something like that. But they're going to be there. So I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. I hope you guys learned something about Illuvium. You got up to date with all the news. And don't forget to tune in next week. I really appreciate it. If you haven't already, go and register for Illuvium Inferno. It is the first ever PvP tournament. It's the biggest tournament Illuvium has ever had with over 150 participants registered. And it's going to be an awesome time.